everyone, welcome back to my channel Smart Skills Up TV with me, Mary Adele. And in this tutorial, we're going to be looking at how to become a virtual assistant with zero experience. How to become a virtual assistant even if you don't have any experience. Now, this is Upwork, and I want you to take a look at some of these accounts. I want to prepare your mind even before we start to talk about anything. Now, this is Upwork, and this is a Nigerian. Right, this is a Nigerian, Kenichi O, by the name Kenichi O, and she's a virtual assistant who is a top-rated seller on Upwork. So if you know anything about Upwork, you know that for your profile to appear on the first page of the search result, then you are good. All right, so this person says she's a top-rated virtual assistant and administrative support specialist with more than 7 years of experience. I offer expert virtual and administrative skills to, okay, let's see. Let me open her profile so that we can read all about her. So this is just to show you that being a virtual assistant is a job description that can actually bring you a lot of money, and you don't necessarily have to be so skilled in anything to become a virtual assistant, right? So she's a top-rated virtual assistant, and she says, I am known for being reliable, organized, and independent, always ready to take on new challenges. If you require an enthusiastic and charismatic go-getter, let's connect, and all that. All right, so now let's go on to talk about who a virtual assistant is and how you can become a virtual assistant. All right, now a virtual assistant is a self-employed worker who specializes in offering administrative services to clients from a remote location, usually a home office. So a virtual assistant typically tasks a virtual assistant might perform include scheduling appointments, making phone calls, making travel arrangements, and managing email accounts. So you can see now that from these typical tasks that a virtual assistant can take on, you don't exactly need to have specialized skills to become a virtual assistant. Anybody can actually become a virtual assistant so long as you're skilled in the use of the tools that are required to make your work easier and you have specialized skills. All right, learning these skills and the use of the tools is simple, and you can even learn on the job. So you don't exactly have you don't exactly need to have all the skills that is required before you can actually start your role as a virtual assistant. All right, so while virtual assistants who handle simple office tasks for business leaders are in high demand, virtual assistants with specialized skills like content creation, video editing, graphics are even more high in demand and can get more highly paid than if you're just doing manual jobs, all right, like scheduling and email management and all that. All right, but then, like I said, even if you're just doing the more simpler tasks, you can even learn on the job, right? So while you're doing the more simpler tasks, you can graduate to do even the more specialized tasks that gets you more highly paid. All right, so how much does a virtual assistant get paid? Now you can see now that this person, Kenichi O, has earned around $20 since she started, right? She has earned 20,000. What am I even saying? $20. She has earned around $20,000 since she started, and she charges $10 per hour. Now, if you live in Nigeria and you actually calculate $10 per hour for 24 hours, that is a whole lot of money. Not to talk about probably the fact that she's earning that on a monthly basis. So being a virtual assistant can fetch you a lot of money. All right, so a virtual assistant can earn anything from $100 to $1,500 per month, depending on your employer or client. So foreign clientele and employers who pay in dollars are highly sought after because they know the value of your work, and that's why people create optimized profiles on freelance platforms like Upwork and LinkedIn and even Twitter or Facebook, right? So to become a virtual assistant, all you need to do is to learn and master the skills that is required of you to actually carry out your tasks. All right, now let us look at some services that you can offer as a virtual assistant. What are some of the services that you can provide as a virtual assistant? I know I've talked about at simple administrative tasks like scheduling, scheduling meetings, managing calendars, taking phone calls, and all that. But there are even some more specialized tasks that you'll be required to learn. And like I said, you can learn on the job. You don't have to learn everything at once. All right. So we are still going to get into the part where I talk about where do you start from. All right. So now let's look at some skills, or let's look at some services that you can actually render as a virtual assistant. Now, general admin work, administrative tasks such as managing a calendar, sorting emails, answering phone calls, marking appointments, and other tasks that on-site assistants do. So I wanted to say earlier that a virtual assistant, even if you work from a remote location, it is just, the glorified version of being a secretary, right? Seriously, it is. You know how that if you've ever worked as a secretary, this administrative tasks that you have to do, like you have to check files, take phone calls, and basically all of those things that you need to do. But then there is even more to being a virtual assistant than those things, all right? So that is general admin work. But then there is more to to offering general administrative services. There is also project management. Now, some virtual assistants run projects for business owners. This means you would hold meetings, ask for updates from team members, and create reports on the progress of a project, right? You may also have some responsibility for projects staying on time or on budget. Now, another kind of service you can offer is bookkeeping. So you can offer financial support, which is vital to every business, right? So smaller companies and those using virtual assistants often need help often needs to help with processing payments, checking expenses, verifying payrolls, and creating regular budget statements. So if you're good with numbers and business, this can be a suitable place for you to start. So bookkeeping roles or bookkeeping services, if you're good in that area, if you're good in accounting, you can also offer bookkeeping services. All right. Then billing and invoicing is another service you can also provide. So companies often need help invoicing their clients. In these roles, a VA, right, that is virtual assistant, will create the invoices using the company software platform, verify each invoice, send them out, and help to process payments and record them when a payment is completed. All right. So that is billing and invoicing. You can offer this as a service as well if you're skilled in this area. All right. Then another service you can also offer is content research. And here you will learn about the company, its products, its customers, and then your job is to generate ideas and research assigned topics to provide relevant information. That is more like content creation, which also involves content research, all right? Because you need to now understand the clients or the businesses, customers, and then generate content to to keep their customers abreast of whatever it is that is happening with the company. All right. So there is also blogging and writing. Sometimes you would need to write the content to research. All right. This is commonly in the form of blog posts, but virtual assistants can also be tapped to write web pages and other content. So these are specialized roles now, aside from those administrative and managerial roles. All right. So customer research. Growing businesses often need to understand who their customers are. And in this case, virtual assistants will be given tasks related to tracking and analyzing the data provided by a company's research tool. All right. So these are actually tasks that you can actually do all of this, right? For a company who would be needing all of these services, that is why you need to be very, very broad or multi-skilled, all right? So that whenever so the thing is you're a virtual assistant, but then anybody who wants to offer you a job would actually need different things, but then you never can tell what this person would actually need. So that is why you need to be multi-skilled. And like I said, you don't exactly need experience to start, but then you can learn on the job, right? You can start with those simpler tasks, and then when you have the money and the resources, you can learn these other ones. And these are the things that you would actually need to be skilled in. These are the services that most organizations would need you, or most individuals would need you to perform for them. Customer support, customer research, blogging and writing. Then there is also data entry. Data entry generally is clerical work where you organize and type information. Sometimes it can be general recording or typing of information, and in other cases you might have more detailed tasks where you need to analyze the information you're reading, right? Then we have email marketing, we have social media management, we have social media marketing that involves running adverts. You may have to create campaigns and set spending, define ad targets, or take ad campaign reports and pull the pertinent details together for your employer or your boss. All right. There is also transcription, there is website management, which where you're tasked with making basic updates to websites, posting content, proofreading, and a whole lot more. All right. So the more the merrier, right? The more skills you can actually have to offer, in your services, the better for you, because you would be better paid.
So how do you start with being a virtual assistant? Now let's look at some of the things that you need to get started with being a virtual assistant. The first thing is that you want to take training courses. So you've got to prepare for working as a virtual assistant and running your online business, right? And the best place to start is to find some online training that is focused on virtual. So aside from the skills and the services you're going to be providing, you need to also take like a general course on virtual assistance, right? Because there are there are some things that you need to also know aside from your services, aside from rendering those services. There are some general things, general information that you need to know about being a virtual assistant. And there are many free and paid courses and skills tools available for you right now. So when you find some that you like, look for reviews or ask other virtual assistants what might help, right? So you should also consider joining LinkedIn or other networking groups to ask people working as virtual assistants about the courses that they took, right? So you can also connect with people on groups on Facebook, right? There, if you go to Facebook and you search for virtual assistants, you see a lot of groups where people are converged and talking about virtual assist. You can connect with one or two people and talk to them, build connections with them, and they will put you through on their own experiences, like, right? So learning from experts is a fantastic way to build the right skills and understand what will be expected of you when you land your first job, right? So you can also get trainings from people who are more experienced, like this person now, the lady we are looking at, our case study, the Kenichi O. She could probably have a course around virtual assistants, right? Around starting as a virtual assistant and setting up your account on Upwork. She can actually train you if she has a call. You can even search her out on places like on places like LinkedIn. And then, because the best thing is for you to have the right knowledge to start with, all right? Then another thing you need to do is to determine the work you like and can do. So after you've taken a class or two and read plenty of blogs or gotten a lot of information, it is now time to figure out what virtual assistant tasks you would like to do and are good at doing. All right. So I talked about being multi-skilled and being able to multitask. All right. So while you can learn everything, there are some of those roles or tasks that you might want to be specialized at. So you want to decide which one you want to do and which one that is going to be a better fit for you. All right. So create your list of tasks, the list of tasks that you would do, and see how they are related. If there are things you can't do, write that down too. It will also help you to avoid taking a project where you'll be less likely to succeed. All right. So when you're starting out, you'll be working on a lot of things at once. And this would include your business and online work, as well as what you do for clients. Sticking to what you're good at initially would help you to perform well. So you don't have to pack a lot of things in your head so that you don't, be everywhere, because it is better to do one thing that you're good at, and do it efficiently than to be just everywhere and, you won't be getting good reviews, right? So the next thing you want to now do is to figure out the prices you want to charge. So pricing and fees vary greatly in the world of virtual administrative assistants, right? So how much you make will change based on the tasks you do and the size of your clients. So the best place to start is to look at what others are being paid, right? So you can visit pages that highlight top freelance virtual assistants or that showcase virtual assistant job. Just like, we went to Upwork and we are looking at this virtual assistants. So you can just go on Upwork to create an Upwork account to start with and start looking at other virtual assistants and how much they are charging per hour, all right? But then you also need to know that some of these people are already established, and you might want to maybe charge less so that you can also get no, but charging less is not exactly I won't even advise you to do that. Just look at what others are doing and then take a cue from them. All right. So remember that your prices should be high enough to help you cover your business expenses and overhead, plus other things like healthcare if needed. So being a freelancer means no paid vacation or benefits unless you make enough money to cover this cost yourself. So it's actually an interesting world, being a virtual assistant, being a freelancer, but then you're not working for an organization per se that they're going to be covering your healthcare expenses or taking you on frequent vacations. So you have to factor all that into whatever it is that you're doing. All right. Then another thing you need to do that is very, very important is to create an online presence. So after learning about your preferences and pricing, you need to share them with the world. The best place to start is to create an online portfolio or resume to showcase what you've done in the past. All right. So relevant work skills and any certifications you've got from your training courses. So having a website and social media presence can make it easier for people to start finding you. But then even if you don't have any, we're talking about creating a portfolio, but then, a portfolio is like a file that contains the works you've done in the past. But then what if you haven't have any experience and you haven't worked for anybody? One of the things you can also do is to on your own, you can just do one or two jobs and then compile them together. You can also you can actually also start to offer the services for free for maybe your friends or your family members. You can offer the services for free and then get them to give you reviews, and then also you can now compile this jobs you've done for free into a portfolio that you can now show to the world. All right. And LinkedIn is a very good place to start because it's a professional platform where business leaders who would be needing your services would be on. So LinkedIn is a very good place to showcase what you know how to do. All right. So even if you're going to be having an Upwork account or a Fiverr account, people who are going to be employing you or people who are going to be looking you up for your services might also want to check you out on places like LinkedIn. They want to see that you actually have an online presence, and that is why it is very, very important that everyone who wants to work as a freelancer should have an online presence, whether only, but LinkedIn is actually very important, right? No caps. LinkedIn is very important. Either you're on LinkedIn or your Instagram or Facebook, but just ensure that you're building a robust online presence. All right. So now start applying to jobs, and this is also very important. All right, because of course you need to, get jobs to start with. All right. So now you have to start looking for those clients. The first thing to do is look on job boards for companies in need. Some services like Upwork help people hire freelance virtual assistants right away. In other cases, you might see that a company wants to hire an assistant. Instead of applying for their permanent position, you can email the HR department or hiring manager and pitch your services as a virtual assistant. This would allow you to work from home and control more of your freelancing day, but still give that client the services they need. So remember to always stay professional and be responsive. People want you to communicate quickly and clearly, so they'll expect a fast reply to any phone call or email they send, right? So that is that about starting out as a virtual assistant. So very importantly, you just need to know that you don't exactly need to have all the specialized skills to start, right? You don't have to be skilled in so many things to start. You can learn on the job, right? So you want to while you're at it, you can also now learn those specialized skills that are required. All right. And then so you need to also take courses, right? You need to learn from people who have been there before, people who have gotten a lot of experience, and they are established in virtual assistants. You can take a cue from them, learn from them, and then also get certification so that you can present this. And getting certification is a way to build your credibility. All right, so it's a good thing you also get certified by taking courses. Then determine the work you like and can do, and then figure out the prices to charge. Create an online presence, preferably on LinkedIn, and then start applying to jobs. All right, so that about starting out as a virtual assistant. This is actually a job role that can give you a lot of money. All right, that can help you build your financial muscle. All right, so that about being a virtual assistant. All right, so if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll be glad to take your questions. And if you've gained value from this tutorial, please don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to this channel so that you can stay up to date with information we are bringing across to you. And most of the tutorials we do here is showing you how to make money on the online space with ease. All right, so this is where we're going to be drawing the curtain on this tutorial, and thank you so very much for staying until the end, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.